Chapter 20. Personal Magnetism Prevents Disease. Promotes health, ambition, and cheerfulness, which is real life. I want to firmly impress on your mind the advantage of starting the day right. On awakening in the morning without starting to think about it. Unconsciously feeling that you are doing right, that your course is a successful one. Stand before the open window where the fresh air is coming in. Throw back the head, raise the chest, throw out the arms. Draw them upward and above the head until they are rigid, and take in 6 deep breaths of pure oxygen. Then relax, rest for a few seconds, repeat this 3 times, and then you will feel full of vital force, and you should smile. You will notice the eyes have more of a sparkle and radiate brilliancy. This is caused by the blood filled with fresh oxygen coursing tumultuously through the veins. You will feel like the birds in the springtime, and that life is glorious and your wildest dreams are possibilities. To accumulate personal magnetism, proper attention must be given to breathing and tensing the muscles through the nerves. When you make the muscles rigid, they are charged with magnetism which has been sent over the nerves from the brain. Practice long, smooth, and deep breathing, and accompany this with the tensing and relaxing exercises given in my previous work. You will find in a short time you will be able to feel the magnetic thrill through every muscle nerve of your body, and after you have exercised for a few minutes and after you have completed the exercise, you will feel more vigorous. You will never find a magnetic person sickly, as magnetism is a great prevention to disease. It will keep you from having colds and catching contagious disease. The person who is tired and sickly all the time changes himself in a short time by the cultivation of personal magnetism. The magnetic condition is a warm, active, and generative condition. The new force that you will instill in your system drives away the old worn-out force. It is the motor force from which you receive more energy and more vitality. Don't waste it, but use it to the best advantage. Most people fail because they don't devote enough consistent work to the head and the brain. Get control of this and use it in the right way. Study every voluntary act of your life and see that these are done in accordance with a definite judgment of purpose, and be determined to accomplish this. There are 2 qualities that are very essential in learning the power of influence, and they are purposeful judgment and determination. The former is the result of concentration and the power to concentrate your mind on a definite objection with an assuring belief in the fulfillment of your desire. This is the secret of personal magnetism. You must breathe into those lungs of yours, so you'll imbibe in the blood the life-giving properties of the air, and do this with the mind concentrated on the belief that you are going to receive, and you will be given, new life, hope, ambition, which all go to make up personal magnetism. The secret of success in anything is the repetition of the ordinary things of life. Don't neglect your exercises on a single day, but be constant in them, and you will have bodily perfection. After once you have formed the habit of taking them regularly, you will feel more keenly the vital or life force running through your body, and as you continue them, you will not only get the benefit of the present one, but you get an accumulated benefit. Special exercise for developing a magnetic personality. There are some important exercises that will help everyone to become magnetic. These will make you beautiful in mind, in body, and character. They will assist you to attract the opposite sex. They will help you to secure love and retain it, to attract friendship and the world's esteem. The correct position, whether you are walking or sitting, must receive your attention. You must have your head up, the chin drawn in and chest expanded. Always have the shoulders back and down. The chances are you will find this a little hard at first, but soon you will find it just as easy to maintain this position as is your present one. The chances are it is bent over one. All it requires is persistent effort for some time until the unconscious mind takes it up and makes it your regular position and a part of yourself. Be particular about this, as it is very important. See that your position is correct and forget you ever had any other kind. Whenever you are out in the open, throw every bit of air out of the lungs that you can and breathe by long, smooth inhalations. Draw in the abdomen and swell out the front and sides of your chest. And then exhale this with even smoothness and steadiness. Keep up this way of breathing until you have acquired it and it becomes as natural as breathing at all. Don't do this at intervals, but do it all the time. Make this your way of breathing and do not forget it. You have now been taught some mighty habits of standing, sitting, walking, and breathing properly. These habits should be now your natural ones and part of your real life. You now are ready to make the whole body magnetic. I told you previously that when a muscle becomes rigid, you are making this magnetic, and now you want to make your whole body magnetic. You can do this by faithfully following the following rule implicitly. Stand, hold yourself in your new position, and inflate the lungs at the same time. Slowly raise the arms straight out and up from the sides. Continue inhaling and raising the arms until, when the lungs are completely filled with air, the hands touch above the head. As you slowly empty the lungs, bring the hands down to their first position. Now keep the arms tense, as this will magnetize the muscles. This exercise should be continued for at least 5 minutes 4 or 5 times a day. Stand in the same position and extend the arms out straight in front of the body and slowly bring them back past the sides until the hands almost meet behind the back. Now, as you carry the arms backward, fill the lungs with a long, smooth, deep breath. And as you return the arms, exhale. Repeat this exercise 10 times slowly. Raise the arms forward and upward from the side, while exhaling until the hands meet in front of the forehead. Fill the lungs and hold your breath while you swing your arms backward, downward, and upward, and then up again to their position in front of the face, after which you slowly let them come down to the sides while you exhale the air. Do this several times. You may think these exercises have nothing to do with magnetism, but if you will practice them for 2 months, you will see what a great deal you have benefited. Now for some more important exercises. Lie flat on the floor with face downward, arms by the sides. Draw the arms slowly along the floor in a circular sweep until they are extended in a horizontal position at right angles with the body. Stand with heels together. Put your weight on your toes. Now throw the head back until it rests on the neck. Exhale all the air out of the lungs. Now inhale gradually by the method you have learned, and raise the body by drawing the arms slowly inward. Let the palms of the hands be flat upon the floor, and gradually draw them in, keeping them at right angles, in a straight line towards the place where the body touches the floor. This movement raises the body from the floor, and when the arms have reached a point exactly in a straight line forward from the chest, the body is raised, or rather the upper part of the body, the length of the arms above the floor, while the lower part of the body is upheld upon the toes. Now, keeping the hands at the same point upon the floor, bend the elbows, letting the body down until the chest, the head is thrown back, touches the floor. Raise the body again, inflating the lungs, and lower it while exhaling the air. The chances are you will not be able to do this over 3 or 4 times in the beginning, but gradually you will be able to increase the movements to 10. If you will continue these exercises for 6 months, you will be so benefited you will not think of stopping them. The truth is you will be so different in 6 months that you will hardly recognize yourself as the person who started the study of these lessons. You will stand correctly. You will look back over the time you have spent practicing the exercise with a smile, and you will say it was time well spent, because you will then realize that you are rapidly acquiring that great, wondrous attribute, the possession of which is the secret of all greatness, personal magnetism. These exercises will not only develop the muscular fibers of the body, but you will have also accomplished something greater. This is developing the nervous system. You will never find a nervous person that is magnetic. If you cannot control yourself, you cannot influence another person. It is utterly impossible to develop a magnetic personality if your nervous organism is not under complete control. The majority of people waste a good deal of energy by unnecessary movements. Some have the habit of tapping the feet on the floor, drumming on something with the fingers, humming, whistling, etc. All of this show lack of control, and until you stop these mistakes, you will not have control enough to affect others. Watch yourself carefully and see how many useless movements you make. Keep on your mind the necessity of having perfect control over the features, hands, feet, and every organ of the body. Be careful how you sit down. Breathe properly and let the mind become imbued with the idea of calmness, coolness, and passivity. Dwell on the thought that you must control your body completely in every motion. By thinking consciously for a time, the subconscious mind will take it up and overcome it. It is an excellent idea to sit a couple of times a day in a correct position, keeping perfectly still, without thinking of anything. Let not a single thought enter your mind. See how long you can sit still without a twitching of the features, swaying of the head or a portion of the body. In fact, avoid all movements of the voluntary muscles. Practice this until you have perfect control, and this is a great force in personal magnetism. Whenever something happens that has a tendency to worry you, just think, this is just a little speck on the horizon of my mind, and I will brush it away. Acquire a passivity, a self-confidence, a self-reliance, and know and believe you have but to dismiss the word to obliterate the origin. Make up your mind firmly that you will let anything ruffle the placid surface of your mind. When you have mastered all your emotions and can sit, walk, stand, and talk for a long time without any unnecessary movement of the muscles, you have acquired perfect nerve control, and are a great deal nearer to the top of the road that leads to self-supremacy and success. It has well been said that the eye is the most potent and powerful factor in the ability to influence others. There is no other organ of sense that emanates such an expression of magnetism and intelligence as the eye does. There are a few simple rules for developing the nerve center of the eye, which I now give to you. Fix a mirror so you can look straight into it. Put a small dot on the glass about the level with your eyes. Fix your eyes on that dot, keeping them there while you slowly move the head to the right as far as you can and still see the dot, and then to the left as far as you can. Repeat this several times every morning and night for several weeks. This exercise strengthens the muscles of the eye and also the eyelids. After you have done this for several weeks, slowly you can increase the speed of the motion. It is important that you turn the head as far as you can to the left and right, but you want to be able to see the dot all the time. You can now lengthen the practice and continue the movement until you feel a strain or an aching. Always stop just as soon as there is the least bit of strain felt. Now stand in the middle of your room and focus the sight on a point in the center of the opposite wall, and then slowly raise the eye to the top of the wall, then down to the floor, now to the right side, and then to the left, always crossing the center point when going from point to another. Make the motion slowly, systematically, and faithfully. Continue this about 2 minutes each time. You can gradually increase the length of time to exercise. Your eyes should be strengthened enough to take up the next step. Stand before your mirror in exactly the same position as the first one. Focus your gaze on the pupils of your own eyes, reflected from the mirror with an instant and intent, unblinking gaze. Now open the eyes to their widest extent, keeping the pupils focused, and gradually close them not altogether, of course, but as far as possible to permit of a retention of a gaze. This should be kept up until the eyes begin to fill up with water. You can lengthen the exercise after a few days. After practicing this exercise until you can do it 5 minutes at a time, you are then ready to take up the next one. Stand before the mirror as before and gaze into the depth of your own eyes, and look as though you were trying to see some object beyond or behind your eyes. You should stand about 10 feet from the mirror while doing this practice. After practicing for 2 days, take 1 step near the mirror each day until you are close to the mirror. Keep the pupils always focused on each other. Don't think you are looking into your own eyes, but that you are actually gazing into someone's eyes. This will require a great deal of practice, but it must be kept up to cultivate a magnetic eye. You must practice all the exercise daily. It is the regular, persistent work that succeeds. After you have practiced the exercise daily for a month, you should be able to look anyone in the eyes with a compelling and magnetic gaze. You are not to stare at anyone in any sense. Your aim is to acquire a penetrating gaze, which gives you a complete mastery over those with whom you come in contact, and makes them unconsciously acknowledge your superiority. The power of attraction. The sooner you get the idea out of your head that power is inherited, the better it will be for you. You alone work out your own destiny for good or evil. No one else can give you magnetic force. This lies within yourself and has to be developed by you. The so-called genius of the past and present, the great powers of the world, the strong personalities of all time have been those that have cultivated their magnetic force. It is true that they have inherited tendencies of their characteristics and qualifications, but if you had these not been developed, they could never have given the world that which the world has been known, so in a sense they did not inherit them. It may be that their wonderful powers were developed with less conscious effort on their part than is required for most people, but you all have wonderful powers if you will develop them. The trouble with most people is that they have too little desire. Our desire that is so weak that it does not arouse conscious effort. Your will needs development. You want to realize that you have no limitations, and that you are not an automaton that is run by forces over which you have no control. If you believe in this way, you will never have the motive force and impulse that will bring a realization of your ideals and desires. The secret of doing things is to believe that you can do them, and you will. The object of all my lessons is to teach you that you are a positive, conscious, and intelligent center, a magnet whose drawing power is expressed by his desire, and his desires are simply a realization of his ideals. If you want to be a power, you must first have ideals, then set about to realize them and keep striving until you do. It is very important that you realize that you want to possess a powerful magnetic personality. You must, once and for all, dismiss all ideas of limitation. The height you will reach depends on yourself. When you have cleared your road from limitations and have substituted perfect reliance in the realization of your ideals and desires, and thoroughly recognize that all power is within you, you will have entirely and forever banished poverty, fear, and disease, and will develop your personal magnetism to a degree you never dreamed of before. If you want to make something of yourself out of the ordinary, you can by studying these lessons. Ask yourself this question: shall I do this? There should be but one answer: yes.